My story, Mr. G. Leopard's channel, the weaver of light and the mountain of truth. Once, in a village nestled deep within the Valley of Echoes, lived a young woman named Alara. The valley was a gray, misty place where the sun rarely pierced the clouds. It was said that the people of the valley had forgotten how to look up, their gazes permanently fixed on the dusty ground. Alara was no different. She carried an invisible weight on her shoulders, a heavy cloak woven from the threads of her own negative thoughts. Every morning, Elara would wake up, and the first whispers in her mind were harsh. "You are not enough," they would say. "You are not strong." She moved through her days like a ghost, feeling unseen and unworthy. She believed her worth had to be earned, and she was forever in debt. One morning, while gathering wood near the edge of the forbidden forest, Elara found a small golden scroll tucked inside the hollow of an ancient oak tree. It was sealed with the emblem of a leopard. Curious, she broke the seal and unfurled the parchment. A warm, inviting voice seemed to emanate from the written words. "Hello, my love. Welcome. Today, we will be reprogramming our minds." Elara blinked. "Reprogramming," she read on. The scroll spoke of a strange magic called affirmations that could help create new neural pathways in your brain, breaking the negative patterns you may have. It promised that if she followed its guidance for 30 days, climbing the path to the mountain of truth, she would change her reality. Desperate for a change, Alara decided to take the first step. She packed her meager belongings and stood at the trailhead. The path was overgrown with thorny vines, representing the years of self-doubt she had cultivated. As she looked at the daunting climb, the familiar whisper returned. "You can't do this. You are weak." Elara looked at the scroll. It instructed her to speak a new truth. Her voice trembled as she read aloud, "I am strong, brave, and beautiful." Nothing happened immediately, but as she repeated it, "I am strong, brave, beautiful," she felt a tiny spark in her chest. She took a step, then another. She realized that through repeated listening and reciting, she was beginning to clear the thorns. The Forest of Shadows. By midday, Elara reached the Forest of Shadows. Here the trees loomed tall, blocking out the light. This was the place where her insecurities lived. Memories of past failures danced in the periphery of her vision. She felt small and incomparable to the greatness of the forest. She consulted the scroll again. It read, "I embrace what makes me unique. I am beautifully unique and incomparable to others." Lara closed her eyes. She thought of her quiet kindness, her ability to listen, her steady hands. She stopped comparing herself to the tall trees and started appreciating her own path. She whispered to the shadows, "I accept and embrace myself as I am. I love myself unconditionally." As she spoke, the shadows seemed to recoil. A shaft of sunlight pierced the canopy, illuminating the path ahead. She realized that she had the power to protect her own peace. "I respect my energy and protect it with love," she declared to the dark forest. "I prioritize myself and my well-being." With every step, she felt lighter, as if the heavy cloak she wore was unraveling thread by thread. The River of Abundance. On the 10th day of her journey, Elara arrived at a rushing river. She was thirsty and tired. She knelt by the water, cupping it in her hands. It was cool and sweet. In the past, she might have worried about the water running out, or whether she deserved to drink from such a pristine source. But the scroll had a new lesson for her: gratitude. "I am grateful for the abundance flowing into my life," she recited, watching the endless flow of the water. She looked at the berry bushes lining the bank. "I am grateful for the food that nourishes my body." She sat by the riverbank and breathed in the fresh mountain air. "I am grateful for the sun, the air, the earth," she sang out, her voice growing stronger. She realized that abundance wasn't just about gold or possessions. It was about the presence of life. "I am grateful for the simple moments that bring me joy," she thought, watching a butterfly land on a flower. For the first time in her life, Alara felt rich. She realized she had everything I need within me to succeed. She was no longer a beggar in her own life. She was a participant in its glory. The steep ascent. The final leg of the journey was the hardest. The air grew thin, and the path became steep and rocky. Alara's legs burned. She slipped and scraped her knee. Tears stung her eyes. The old voice tried one last time to scream, "Give up. This is too hard." Elara sat on a rock, clutching the scroll. She read the words intended for this exact moment. "I am grateful for the challenges that lead to growth." She stared at the scrape on her knee. It was a sign of her effort. It was proof she was climbing. "I believe in my inner strength," she shouted into the wind. "I trust myself and my intuition." She didn't just walk. She climbed with ferocity. She realized she was a force. She was resilient. She looked back at how far she had climbed from the gray valley below. "I am proud of how far I've come," she whispered, filled with a new emotion, pride. The summit of the mirror. On the 30th day, Alara reached the peak. There, standing beneath the open sky, was not a temple of gold, but a simple, still pool of water nature's mirror. Alara stepped to the edge. The reflection that looked back was not the gray, hunched ghost who had left the valley. The woman in the water stood tall. Her eyes sparked with life. Her skin glowed with health in the sun. She looked at her reflection and spoke the final truth from the scroll, the one she had struggled with the most in the beginning. "I am radiant and beautiful." She pressed her hand to her heart. "My worth is innate and cannot be taken away." She realized that she didn't need the mountain to be worthy. She didn't need the scroll anymore. Power had been in her repetition, her choice to change her story day after day. She had built a new mind, a new reality. "I am ready to thrive as my highest self," she declared to the horizon. "I have the power to create my dream life." Elara descended the mountain, but she did not go back to the grayness. She brought the sun with her. When she walked through the village, people turned to look not because she was shouting, but because she was shining. She had become a lighthouse. And when others asked her how she found the light, she simply smiled, handed them a pen, and told them to start writing a new story. The moral. The story of Alara teaches us that our reality is shaped by the conversation we have with ourselves. We often wait for the world to validate us, but true power comes when we validate ourselves. By consciously choosing gratitude and self-love, we can physically reprogram our minds, clearing away the thorns of doubt to reveal the innate worth that was there all along. We are the architects of our own joy. Quotes from the text. Affirmations help create new neural pathways in your brain. Through repeated listening and reciting, these affirmations will help you change your self-talk. I accept and embrace myself as I am. I am enough as I am. My worth is innate and cannot be taken away. I am grateful for the challenges that lead to growth. I have everything I need within me to succeed. I choose love over fear. I am radiant and filled with light. The lesson. The lesson is that consistency is the key to transformation. Just as Alara had to walk the path for 30 days, we must practice self-love and gratitude daily to see results. We must learn to be grateful for the simple moments that bring me joy and remember that even when life is hard, we are capable of greatness. You do not need to change who you are to be worthy. You only need to change how you see yourself. Thank you for watching Mr. G channel. Do not forget to subscribe and give thumb up. See you next time.